I don't like kilometers per liter, but I think that's configurable, but I am not going to configure it now because I don't know how to. Let's just... what is this? Age. This will probably turn off ABS. No? Oh, it's to change to MPH instead of KPH. There ought to be something. And ABS is probably possible to disable at the rear wheel, but if you don't know how to disable ABS, there's a tiny trick. You put it on the side stands, like so, and then you pull it off the rear, so the rear is off the ground, like so, like I'm doing. It's not hard. You turn it off, put it in first gear, and you brake with the front wheel. The ABS crashes, the software crashes, and your ABS is off, and this works for all bikes. So let's just turn it on and listen. And the thrum of a V-Strom engine. Sounds very civilized. Okay, so let's get going. Okay, the very first impression, and usually this is wrong until I get used to her, is the handlebars seem to be a bit forwards. I'm sitting in where I'm supposed to be sitting, I think, where I'm comfortable, and the handlebars are just a bit of a reach. I'm a bit stretched forwards. This will probably take some getting used to, at least some 5 minutes, and I have something inside my gloves. I'll have to stop and take it off. I think it's a little rock. But on this one, it's funny because on this one I don't feel that eagerness to lean, which I felt immediately on the other bike, on the 250. On the first 2 minutes. This one just felt progressive going around. Again, it's very likely due to the tires. The other one has some very thin tires. Oh, there's a bit of that here too, but not that much. Most likely just due to a slightly higher center of gravity due to the big V-twin in between my legs. But again, this feels just so smooth. The suspension is very, very nice. I'm going to do the same thing I did on the last one. Exactly the same. Let's do the same route. But I am really amazed how smooth this is. I know this pavement is horrible, and on my tracer I would be jumping everywhere, but I'm just comfortably riding along with no issues. Oh, here's a big bump. What the hell? Wow, this is okay. This is standard suspension, not upside down, nothing fancy. I don't see any special adjustments here. There are no special adjustments, but just works so well. I'll need a big bump that I know intimately to really try this out, because I'm confused, to be honest. Let's go up this, but this time I'm going sitting down. Mega comfy, although I was a bit thrown out of the seat there because there was a huge bump. I am absolutely amazed at just how nice this feels. Over bumps, it's great. There's something, I'm not feeling this correctly, because it shouldn't be this nice. I was expecting this to be slightly... Rather, I have the feeling, hello dog, I have the feeling that the road is just not bad enough. No, it is, it's horrible. Doing this with a tracer, I would be standing up because I wouldn't want this to jolt through my spine. On this one, I do not care about bumps. What a lovely suspension setup. This is the same route I did last time. Let's go back. The extra height, though, compared to my tracer, is a bit bothersome, but it's very balanced, so this doesn't really matter. Now let's go to my test track, which, in case you don't know, goes from there to there. It's this hill up ahead. Welcome to the test track. I'm running out of battery already? Jeez, I'm screwed. I've already felt the engine and it feels great. very great, awesome. And I'm now going to be feeling how it corners. Likes to widen the turns a bit. Maybe I did it wrong, let's see. But I'm expecting this to be more wobbly than usual because of this fantastic suspension setup for bad pavement and for off-road, for which this bike is also tuned for. So I'm expecting this to be not quite as good on the bends as it should. I'm also half expecting to be proven wrong because of the experience with the last one. Again, smoothness is key. It feels, yeah, it's a bit slow, so it's not agile, but it's not meant to be. Let's try to do a quick insertion, and it's not a very agile bike, but it is more than enough. It's normal for this range. Again, I am comparing it with the Tracer, which is a hooligan machine dressed up as an adventure bike, and so the Tracer is much faster doing this. This one, she didn't really like what I just did now. Oh, the rear was wobbling, going, let's go have fun. Again, contrasting with the 250, where nothing like this happens. The 250 is for beginners. This one is not. Shoot, I have to overtake that truck or else this whole section will be ruined. And here we are going to put this engine through the tests. Please turn left or right, please turn left or right, please turn left or right. Frack me, you are not, so I am going to have to jump you like this. Not an issue whatsoever, just as you would expect. Now brake hard. Initial bite was a bit weak though. I'll have to try that again. It is stable. Oh, traction control went on. Okay, right, these aren't 100% road tires, so kinda makes sense. Oh yeah, I felt the TC going on now. Again, cool. TC1 allowed the rear to just go slightly off balance, and then, oh, you're not going anywhere. But traction control does give you the ability to do what I just did, which I would never do on my Tracer, which is leaned over and throttle. I wonder if I can turn it off and see what happens. This will probably be a very short trip. I'll do it later. I'd really like to do that. Turn that off and see what happens. Come on. Oh, here we go. Off. Let's see what happens on this last bend. I'm scared. No, I'm too scared to do this, sorry. I'm not exactly skilled to leave a turn at high speed going with the traction control completely off. Sorry, very sorry about that. Come on. Select. Thumb. Not being able to do this, why? Perhaps the clutch needs to be in? Ah, okay. Maybe the clutch needs to be in, I have no idea. But on cornering, it does feel, it is stable. But it does show that it is a more off-road-ish tuned suspension and a more off-road-ish tire. Dabbing the throttle on exit does cause the ABS, the traction control, to turn on. and while cornering it's a bit more wobbly than you'd expect or you would feel on a tracer. Not that much, it's not wow, no, it's a bit more nervous, but it's fun. It's fun. It can do it perfectly well, very well indeed. Great bike on road, but you do feel that the tires are mixed tires and the suspension is a bit softer in tall. But it's not dramatic. It's a great bike for both. Look at this very carefully. I shall do this only once. Pronto, isto é tudo o terreno. Isto é uma estrada, ok, rapazes? Isto é uma estrada, é? Não estou a fazer tudo o terreno com uma moto test drive, claro que não. Isto é uma estrada, perfeitamente normal. Aliás, eu faço isto com muito cuidadinho, normalmente. Pá, o andar em pé, o guiador está um bocado baixo demais para andar em pé, mas funciona. De novo, não está perfeito, mas não está mau, ok? Olha o controle de tração. Isto é o melhor sítio para experimentar o controle de tração. Vamos tentar tirar o controle. Olá, Bel. Olá, Bel. Agora queria desligar o controle de tração. Off. Vamos fazer a mesma coisa. Olá, Bel. Agora não, sim? Vais comer areia se ficas aí atrás. Era para aqui, não era? Era. Já me lembro onde é que eu estou. E controle de tração. Estão a ver a diferença? Se bem que aqui a areia é muito rolada. Vamos pôr o controle de tração de novo ligado, no 1. E no 2 provavelmente não, ele não deixa mesmo nada, um gajo acelera e não acontece grande coisa. Está sempre a cortar. Porque eu não vou fazer isto outra vez, senão o Suzuki mata-me. Ok. For the English channel I did this with subtitles because Suzuki will probably murder me for taking one of their machines off-road, okay? Although that wasn't actually an off-road, that was more a... Let's go into first gear. but yes, this, just like you saw there, is a nice, a happy 50-50. It's that bike that does both things well. It's not that, oh, it can do both. No, it can do both very well indeed. The riding position, as I told, is, I think the handlebar is a bit too forward and too low for me. I have relatively short arms, so I have this issue on many bikes. But on this one's a bit more than most. So you're sitting, it's not quite an adventure style sitting. You're sitting down, but you're not completely straight. Like a BMW, you're like this on the Beamer, okay? On this one, your back is straight, but your torso is tilted forward ever so slightly. So you have to, it's not like sitting down and grab the bike. It's not like punk, punk. No, it's punk and here we go, okay? There's a deliberateness to bending forward to grab the handlebars. The tracer is more straight up for some reason, or I think it is. Might be wrong. These things are all from feel, and sometimes I screw up. Okay, I'm not perfect. And while standing up, like so, the handlebars for proper off-road, it just feels a tad too low. It feels slightly higher than my tracer, but still not quite enough. Which is exactly, and this is not a criticism, this is exactly what you want, because this is supposed to be the in-between. Because if it was higher, it was off-road, to be very high, you'd be riding with your hands up. So if you want to take this to off-road, you can just take it stock, which is great, but if you want to do a bit more serious, you can just do some tiny adjustments, and for example some bar raisers. With the bar slightly raised, it'll be perfect. For reference, here I am. And if I was going on my old NC700, which was a bit more off-roady than the Tracer, I was just bending forward even more. This one it's that riding position on an off-road machine that you go, okay, this is fine, but perhaps I'll do some bar raisers to be a bit more comfortable. It's exactly that. It is a off-road position, but it just needs a few centimeters up to be like the full day standing up routine, instead of just the let's get up, which is what it does now. Let's get up to cross to this nastier path and then we'll sit down back again. Okay, this is what this handlebar is for right now. It's just for the occasional standing up, not for the let's go out down that path the whole time standing up. So yeah, a very in-betweenish machine. Let me just show you the engine. And bending, yeah, it corners pretty well and gives you a lot of confidence too. Let's see if I can show you the engine. There might or might not be radars here. I think those are cops behind me. Let's go. See? Pretty fast. But this engine, comparing with my Tracer, and let's get this out of the way, the Tracer engine is sublime. It is off the charts compared to the competition. Yamaha did an excellent job on it, and there's really very little comparison or possibility of an actual competition to that engine. Okay, the bike itself is another matter, but that engine is by far the best on the range. This one, I would like, I might be wrong, but I don't think I am. This has been changed from the last version I rode. This feels more raw, more violent. Check this out, third gear, full throttle. And it does pull you back and keeps you pulled back until the red line, literally until the red line. The Tracer gives you that huge jolt, that big smile on your face, and then keeps pushing you violently, and then at 9,000 RPM it starts puttering out, starts going air, and you feel the engine going soft, so you're being pulled back, and then when you reach 9K you start going back slightly. It's still accelerating, but it starts not accelerating as much, starts running out of steam, and then when it reaches the red line, you already shifted up because you notice that it's no longer on its happy place. This one, when it starts pulling, it will not stop until you hit the red line, and I have a nagging suspicion that if the red line was higher it would just keep on going. So it's different, and it's very good. It's very, very good. The last one I liked, it also had this just keep pulling thing, but it was not the same. I think this is a bit more raw, especially when you're going like in its happy place, 5,000 RPM or so, and then suddenly you get scared and you just jolt the throttle, and it just tries to lift the wheel. So it's not no slouch. It's not a. This one feels less civilized. This is a bit more of an uncivilized engine, which I love. I have the memory. I rode the other one a long time ago, but I have the memory the other one was just too civilized. It was a very suit and tie thing. This is a more of a, not even going to say it's a casual dressing or a casual office day. This is more like a jeans and t-shirt kind of guy. It's not yet the hooligan with the mohawk and the spikes that the Tracer is, but it's a bit more a more relaxed guy. It's a bit more less formal, which is good. Now, comparing this directly with the Tracer, who would get the Tracer and who would get this? If you want to do some off-road, or if you want to do off-road and road, this is the machine. This will do both. Okay, if you just want to do roads, you can choose any of either the Tracer or this. If you only want to do road, because this is very comfortable on the roads, and the wind protection out of the box is great, much better than the Tracer, miles better. There's no wind here. My hand is getting no kind of impact. Here, impact, nothing. Here there's impact. I can feel the wind here. Then here there is no wind on my hand here. And then there's no wind. Oh, there's a bit that's coming in from down here. So it's very comfortable on the road, so you could choose both. If you want a more relaxed ride and you don't care about turning your rear tire into smoke, this is the one. If you want pure hooliganism, loud engine, wheelies, stoppies, basically being annoying as hell, then you have the Tracer for you. Both will do great on big trips. Without having done the end-to-end, I would say that this would be much better on a big trip than the Tracer. But after having done a huge trip on the Tracer, it's acquitted itself spectacularly And this one would be even better. This stock seat is very, very comfy. I'm just going to put it through her paces so you can see. This stock seat is very comfy, better than the Tracer stock seat. Not quite as good as the Tracer comfort seat, but I do believe there is a comfort seat for this one. This will do easily 200 kph or more. It feels faster at the top end than the Tracer. Okay, so I'm talking about the Tracer because, like it or not, Suzuki Tracer is your competition to this bike. It is a hugely popular bike for very many good reasons, and your product Suzuki is a very, very good alternative while not directly competing, because this does not appeal to the same people. If you want to do off-road, I would highly suggest this little baby. I'm just amazed at just how well it copes with all kinds of stupid terrain and stupid bumps, and it's just I still can't quite get through my thick skull just how good it was there. That road would be murder on my butt on the Tracer, and I went through a few. Remember, on the Portuguese end-to-ends, we went through a big road with cobblestone roads, a gigantic cobblestone road, and I had to stand up because I just couldn't stand it. And I said, it's trying to shake my bike apart, because I was going the whole time. The windscreen was going nuts, completely nuts. Go check that video out, just for comparison. This one on a road that is easily worse, zero issue. So I'm absolutely amazed. And then the most amazing part is that it actually works on the roads too, which I don't quite get how that is possible. But I just tell you how it feels, and it feels great over bumps and very, very good on the road. You do feel the height on the road when you're cornering, but you already need to be a bit experienced. You already need to have ridden other bikes to feel this detail when you're cornering. It's the 250 is completely stuck on the road. This one is a bit more nervous when you're leaned over on the road. It's just that. It's not dramatic. I'm not saying it's bad. It's just I'm just saying it's not as good as a more sporty bike, which is exactly the point. Okay, the point is not to do corners at R6 speed. The point is that you can keep up with an R6. You'll catch her in a few up ahead. You'll catch her again. Okay, or just stay in the general vicinity with an R6 with a guy going fast. You can do that. You won't be able to keep up with it. It's just tuned. It's just more tuned for comfort and for city riding, etc. Marvelous, marvelous, marvelous. It is so good actually that I would be tempted by this one. Truthfully, I love the Tracer. I just adore my Tracer. It's like the best bike I have ever had. Not that I've had that many, but it's just perfect for me. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Super exciting. I love it. But this one has that little star, you know, that exciting star. Because if I had this one, if I bought one of these, I knew on this one I can go off-road whenever I want. I can just go. On the Tracer, maybe not. Nah, maybe not. This one has these tires which work on the road, but they also work very well off-road. Has these mixed tires which are more on-road, but they're better than road tires on the dirt. So I can actually work on the dirt. Not perfect, but they will work. So yeah, it's tempting. This one is quite tempting, and it's no longer fugly. And the engine is, I think it's improved. I don't know what they did. I hope I get back and he doesn't tell me, no, it's the same exact engine, didn't change a thing. So I'll feel pretty stupid if it's the exact same one. But I'm nearly 100% sure this has been changed from the last version. It feels more raw, more fun, more Tracer-ish, which is going to start being a verb. Yeah? And it's agile enough. It's not quite as agile as the sporty Tracer again, but it can do this. You saw me doing that roundabout easily without even thinking. So it's not a slouch. It just moves. It's not a super light 250cc bike which just goes whenever you think. Let's corner there and just flies there. but it's still a pretty agile bike to run around the city on. The 250 on the city is just brilliant, okay? It's just on another league. But this one is still very good. It's easily on the same league as all the other adventure bikes. So yeah, it's a very good adventure bike, and I'm going for lunch at McDonald's. I'm going to regret it later. So yeah, that's it. The V-Strom 650. Again, what a wonderful bike, Suzuki. Cage routes.